Hey Pisces, how you doing? I hope you are feeling great today. I know that Mercury retrograde has kicked in, so we're just going to check in, see what we can expect towards the end of the month, and how the Mercury retrograde can support you, because it's really important that we're not sitting in this concern of it's Mercury retrograde and everything's going to be difficult. I don't like to believe in that narrative. So we're going to kick in and see what Spirit has. Alrighty. So let's rock and roll. For Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If there's an extended version, you will find the link below. We'll see how we rock and where we get to dive in deeper for those that feel connected to the message. So straight up right now, we've got Magician and the Mirror and Angel of Love. Interesting what's coming up with this energy, Pisces, because what I'm getting is right now, anything that you're putting out there is being reflected back. So if there is something, and for Mercury retrograde, right? As we lean into Spirit and as we ask Spirit, hey, like, what can we expect? What's going on for the Mercury retrograde? Initially, what came up yesterday and it's flowing through today is this is a real time to have a look within, but also what's coming back to us. I feel this Mercury retrograde is to reflect our areas that maybe we are not liking what we're seeing, or maybe we're adoring what we see, but recognizing that's a version of ourselves as well that we appreciate, or something that is maybe bothering us, and how we can soothe our hearts and souls to grow in that situation. And that's what I feel like is coming up here with Magician in the Mirror. You can manifest at a really an incredible rate, Pisces. I mean, we're manifesting every moment of every day, right? But the mirror for this reason is really standing out. The word mirror in this message here. And I feel it's reflective. That's something that's looking back or coming back to you, and just something to be aware of. In addition to this, you've got the Angel of Love. So what I'm feeling here with the Angel of Love is, what are you doing to take care of your heart? I feel Spirit is supporting you right now to give you the warmth that you need. I feel, Pisces, you are in a okay place, in a good place, but I feel that there's this part of you that still needs some nurturing. And I feel like right now that your angels, your guides are here to give you the comfort that you're seeking, to show you are supported and that you are loved, no matter the choices and decisions you make. Because with the Mercury retrograde, I do feel things are going to stir up a little to help us, not against us, but to help us, where places have felt uncomfortable for us, where there are things that maybe we've ignored. And it could be as simple as putting boundaries in place because of situations that have occurred in the past, and we keep getting slightly called back into that cycle because we think that's where our worth is. And it's remembering that no, we're allowed to have boundaries. If there's something or someone or a situation that is not congruent with how we feel or our view of the world, that it's okay to have those boundaries. It's okay to have that self-advocacy, to be able to stand up for yourself or to put those boundaries in place. And if people can't understand it, why can't they understand it? Sometimes there's just a communication barrier that we can speak different languages sometimes, even though we're speaking, the same English, the words are not being understood sometimes on what we're trying to convey. And that's not a reflection on us. It's how that other person is taking the information in. Are they coming from a place where they're taking information in that where they may feel threatened, even though there may not be a threat? Everyone has been in a situation at some point in their life where they feel uncomfortable, they don't feel understood. And sometimes when we're trying to also express our feelings or our boundaries, it can be perceived as a threat. So what is that? And I feel like this is a time to kind of pull those layers back right now, especially I feel this is only valid for people that you care about and that care about you. This is not for people who don't give a shit about your boundaries, don't really give two flying hoots, right? I'm talking about important, valid relationships in your life. Being able to pull back the layers and really get to the source of what the issues are underneath, and simply asking that question of whether, like, do you actually understand where I'm coming from? Because I don't feel understood at all, or I don't feel my feelings are considered. I feel there's a lot around feelings, around boundaries, around situations that haven't been perhaps ideal with how you feel or how you want to feel. But I feel like they're coming back around these little, I don't know if you want to call them niggles or want to call it frustrations or want to call it challenges. But I feel like this is the Mercury retrograde that's here right now. It's a powerful one in support of us, okay? And I feel like this is a message that's coming in, obviously, quite strongly here around the communication, but nurturing yourself. And if you need to pull back those layers and ask those underlying questions to get that clarity because your heart's not sitting right with it right now, this is kind of saying, we got you, boo. So, kind of rolling with that. Let's dive a bit deeper and see what else is here for you, Pisces. All right. Thank you, Spirit. Can we have a look at the next few weeks on what Pisces needs right now in support of their situation? Thank you. It's like I love when you're just connecting, right? It's just such a beautiful thing when you're connected to Spirit. It's like they're excited to share. It's like I feel they're sitting around me right now. I've got like someone's hand on my shoulder just going, yes, let's give this to Pisces. Let's give this to Pisces. We want to help. We're here. They're excited to share. They're excited to be here in support of you. And that's what I'm feeling right now. And it's really interesting, the warmth and energy I'm getting. Now, as I pulled this card, it's interesting. I'm feeling like I got this scream, and it's not a scream out loud, it's a scream internal. There's frustration I feel in play right now. Like you're frustrated. It's like that type of internal, like, is kind of what I was hearing that was coming on through. But having a look here, Pisces, with the mental conflict, authority, moving on, and shadow. I feel there might be someone right now who's trying to put their foot down in a way that maybe a little controlling for you and maybe not in alignment with what you're needing right now. I feel there is a decision you're trying to make because it's something that you're moving towards or from. But there's this part of you that is feeling challenged because of another figure or another person in your life. Maybe this could be a father figure. Maybe this could be a spouse. Maybe this could be a boss. There's someone I feel like you're worried about, concerned about, or like it's a challenge. And it's a path and a decision that you have to make. And you're trying to figure out what the right decision is. Importantly, Pisces, for you, that's what you need to look at, what the right decision is for you. There's a few questions, I can understand, again, when there's people in your life that you care about and you want to make decisions in support of them too. There has to be compromise at some point if it's a very significant thing like moving a new home. That's something you got to decide together, right? If you're in a relationship under the same roof. It could be too, like, what other impacts has it around you with people that you genuinely care about? At the end of the day, people are going to do what suits them if it was the other way around. Okay? So, what decision are you making that is really going to impact that relationship and dynamic? And what has it got to do with them is really what you need to sit down and ask. How about what does this do for you? How does this support you, this move or change or direction? Because ultimately, you're living your life. You're not living your life for somebody else. But understandingly, are you making decisions best in support of you without giving your power away to other people? And sometimes we can do that when we're unsure or asking people for help or asking people, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Pisces, what do you think? What do you feel? How does it make you feel? Sometimes when we're questioning things way too much, it can mean it's just not meant for us, or it's not that F yes energy, right? That's how I like to feel into it. You can also do like a body test as well, as in getting into that energy, as making that decision. And then when you step, like you physically take a step forward once you're really into that energy on how you feel. And if you're stepping into it disappointed or stepping into it feeling, it ain't for you. Like your spirit knows, your internal soul spirit knows what is right for you. But if you're making decisions because you think that's the only way, or because that's what you've been told is the right thing, or again, come back in. As an example, we had, I just want to give this example because I think this is relevant for somebody. Someone came to my husband to get some guidance about going to college. I mean, these are kids, right? Going to college. And this kid thought he had to go through the military to be able to get a college degree because he couldn't afford it. That's what he was told. That's what he believed. That's what society is also, I think, kind of told him. And then the question was for him, why are you going to military? Is it really you want to serve, or is it because you think that's the only way you can get into college and a degree? Right? Like what was his underlying motive and passion, or underlying motive and, where he wanted to take pursuit? What was his overall goal for the whole thing? And it was, he wanted to get into college, but he couldn't afford it. And he thought that was his gateway. He didn't know he could get grants. He didn't know all these other things. He didn't know he could apply for scholarships. Sadly, you think that people would have this information, but sometimes they don't, because of where they are or the environment that they're in, or they don't have people around them. Okay, so I really want you to have a think about where you're getting your support, where you're getting your guidance. And this is what is coming through if you are in conflict and making a decision. And I've given you that example purely because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, but you only know what people tell you. And those are the people that you may look up to, or those are the people that are trying to squash you from making progress. So just be super mindful where you're getting the support right now, because I feel there's just something or someone that may be feeling they're helping you or supporting you in the best direction, but they're helping and supporting you from their direction, okay? Not what you really want. If they're not asking you enough questions about your desires, your goals, that's a red flag, okay? So just lean into that a bit more, and that's what's coming through here, Pisces, okay? In terms of moving on and your shadow, this is interesting because I feel like there's still a part of you, and I've already mentioned this in terms of the Mercury retrograde, the essence of this right now, and we're also in the full moon. But what I feel is here with the moving on and the shadow, this is you joining forces with yourself. This is what I'm really getting here. You're moving on and taking a new path, a new direction in adventure. I don't know what they're holding in their hand, if it's like a compass or a clock. I can't really tell, to be honest, but it's interesting when you start looking at this. There's darkness here on this side. There's darkness here on this side. Okay? There's light, there's green. I mean, hey, you can give me the money, but I mean, this is like growth. This is like expansion. And here, this is like the moon and the sun. If you kind of recognize that, kind of the same here. This is about you stepping into your fullness, Pisces, and coming together. Our shadow side is not something to fear. Our shadow side, it's kind of like bringing with us those fears, bringing with us those challenges, bringing with us those experiences, because amongst that fear is great strength. When you push past the fear, when you push through the fear, when you tell the fear to F off, that's still a version of ourselves. It doesn't need to be something that we're afraid of. It's something that when we bring all of us together, that's our fight, and that's our just amazing, powerful way of becoming and being who we want to be. When you love someone, you love all of them. It doesn't mean that, okay, sometimes there's things that piss us off about people. I'm sure sometimes there's things that you look at yourself going, oh, why did I do that? There's those parts of us, of course, of everyone, of every situation. Nothing is perfect. But at the end of the day, there is beauty in you on all sides. And I feel like your adventure, you're stepping out, you going to explore and doing and creating the life you want to create is allowing you to step into yourself fully. Our shadow self too is coming fully out. Our pleasures, our desires. And I feel like that's where you're going, Pisces. You're taking all of you, your sexy nature, your fun nature, what it is that you want to die, as in the version of you may be like, I'm kind of done with that version of me. This is my new version. And I feel that's the shadow side, right? That's the shadow side. That's our Scorpio side. When we look at I think it's the 8th house, that's who we are. That's a part of us. So have a look at that, because that's really coming in right now, that 8th house energy of our desires, our values, of our pleasures, of what it is that we want to go after and kind of create. So let's go a little bit deeper and see what else Spirit has for you. This is a really interesting reading, Pisces. Let's go a bit deeper. Thank you, Spirit. I just was talking about that rebirth, right? And the cards that fell out fit perfectly. So let's have a look what's here. I'll read them to you because I know you can't fully see the cards. Let me just move these up a bit. So also came through was a transform card, transformation. You've got trapped in fear, discontent and boredom, rejoice in celebration. And it's interesting what's coming through here, because when I read it this way, this really makes sense for me. And as in the story, the narrative, what's happening behind the scenes, what's underneath all this, Pisces, for you over the next few weeks. And this is really about, right now, the conflict, you want to break free from this. I think there's a part of you that just wants to say goodbye to this old version of you, but you are really concerned about what people are going to think. And I feel like it's a specific person, figure, someone over you, around you, energetically, that is making you think following a certain path or journey is stupid, or it's silly, or why would you do that? Or really? It's like it's infecting them for some reason. Maybe you're doing things that are a bit outside the box, a bit untraditional. And you know what? I'm interested to know who this person is for you, because they're really giving it to you right now. And it's you're closing off, you're closing down or shutting down, because you don't want to disappoint them. But there's something here, Pisces, and we're going to dive a bit deeper, but there's something here where it's kind of like you listen to this person for a while, I feel, or maybe you have been listening to them. And you're like, nah, I keep knocking the camera, I'm so sorry. I don't feel like this is this is me. I don't feel this is me. I don't feel connected to staying, to sitting, to pleasing you because I'm not living my true version of myself. That is what I'm getting here with this discontentment and boredom. It's like you want to play out here, but they're keeping you here. And this is the trapped part, I feel. And the fear part is, shit, is this this is the life I'm going to live? This is the life I've got. I'm going to be constantly living up to them at what they want, what they desire, and I'm not being me. Like, and I think you come and have this realization and just like, I feel you get to a point of like, fuck it, or you really work, like I said, pulling back the layers, doing the Pisces thing of uncovering the layers to going, what is your issue with me living my life? What has it got to do with you? Why are you putting so much of this on me? Why are you closing me off from being me? Am I going to disappoint you? Am I not good enough for you? Like, what is it? And I feel like these are the kind of things you're sitting here because you're questioning yourself and you think being silent is just keeping the peace, makes it easier. Does it make it easier? Or are you gonna put yourself in prison to keep this person happy and not live your life, but pretending you're okay with it? Because that's kind of what I feel is happening or has happened. And you deserve more than that, Pisces. But you've got to be willing to make that choice and decision. And I think you figure it out. And could be a part of it, of figuring it out, figuring out how to communicate, figuring out how to stick the finger up to this person without sticking your finger up and causing conflict. But, you know, I feel like you kind of, maybe that's that scream is like, oh, like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you making my life difficult because of decisions I want to make for my life, which has nothing to do potentially with your life? Again, I'm feeling like this is a father figure or someone who, it could be just a controlling person in your life that is making you feel guilty, that is making you feel there's something that they're doing because they want to keep you for themselves. I don't think this is a spouse, but it could be for some of you. But usually those decisions, whatever you're doing, has to be, you know, usually it's something that you talk through together because you want their support, right? I mean, it's kind of sucks if you don't have their support when moving, you know, if it's moving jobs. But I feel like this is actually doing something a bit bolder, doing something a bit outside the box. And I don't know, Pisces, you know who this is, but I'm just wondering for you, what's really next? What chances are you willing to take on yourself? Who gives a shit if it fails? What happens if it works out? If you don't know, you don't try, you don't grow, you don't expand. You can say you lived it. You know what I mean? But really, really think about it. I mean, if you're making decisions that are, you know, that aren't really serving you, then maybe they're trying to protect you. But only you can assess that. Only you know the truth behind it. What I'm feeling here is this is a time in claiming all of you, all sides of you, of stepping into the light, of seeking adventure, going after what it is that you want. And when you do, this is a really exciting time for you, Pisces, a really exciting time for you. It's going to be celebrated. I feel like there's people around you that get you, that have your back, that want to rejoice with you, you know, that want to be a part of the exciting adventures you're going on, that want to be your support. You might even have some sidekicks along the journey, you know, whatever that is. But I think you will see the success. But right now, Spirit is kind of challenging you to use your voice, to step up for yourself. Is that right? Step up for yourself. That doesn't even sound right, but you get what I mean, right? Stand up for yourself. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But I think the step is because I'm seeing you visually taking a step forward, taking a stance. But it takes you to get to a point of like, you recognize that you are trapped. You can't, you're feeling so stuck and so what's the word? Unsatisfied. And I think you really is like, You're really struggling with it. Don't miss this opportunity, Pisces. This is pretty amazing on what's going on. But we're going to leave it there. If you want to join us for the extended version, I feel like there's a lot more to the story, and I'd love to see where this goes and what becomes through this experience, how this person is responding, how you can respond to support this dynamic, and we'll go a bit deeper. There'll be a link below in the comments, but let's check it out and see what is happening for you, Pisces. We'll see you in the next video if you're there. If you are wrapping up, let me just get one card for you on what you can do to best support yourself in terms of this situation right now. Thank you, Spirit, for our lovely Pisces. What can best support Pisces through this journey right now? Thank you, Spirit. Given us 2 cards. Authenticity. Live life for you, not the audience in your head. Kind of interesting, kind of a theme that we were just talking about. And the other one is a surprise. Well, I love surprises, Pisces. I hope you do too. Release your expectations and be open to surprises. So for some of you, I think there's a conversation that needs to be had, and I think you might be surprised with the response that you get. So I'm going to leave that with you, Pisces. Again, if you're joining us in the extended, I'll see you there. Feel welcome, and I really appreciate a thumbs up and or subscribe to support us and the channel so we can keep bringing and more to all of you, right? We're here to support the Pisces, amazing Pisces. So I'll catch you later.